So today we're stepping into a bit of history. We're here at the Mojave Narrows, an oasis in the middle of one of the hottest places on earth. The Mojave area was originally the Serrano people's territory, but up until the 1800s, the expansion west by the settlers, quote unquote, pushed them out, and the area slowly became a ranching territory. In the 1900s, finally became what it is today, which is Mojave Narrows Regional Park.
History of the Mojave Narrows, an oasis in the desert for Native Americans, explorers, and missionaries. Mojave Narrow Regional Park, located along the Mojave River, gets its name from the rock outcropping north of the park, known as the Narrows, where the river winds through it. The surface water creates an oasis in the desert, and hundreds of acres of cottonwood and willow trees upstream create an environment unlike anywhere else in the Mojave Desert. Little wonder why the people have been drawn to this place for hundreds of years. First, the area was home to several groups of Native Americans, visited by Native Americans in antiquity and later by migrant travelers from back east. Stone mortars and pictographs can still be found here in the Narrows today. Europeans arrived first as Spanish missionaries, then as explorers and army patrols. In 1867, John Brown homesteaded the Verde Ranch, which became the first major ranch of the Mojave River Valley. The Red House was built in 1870 by John Brown Sr. and was used by the Mormons as a hotel and a stopover, a meeting place for pioneers on their journey south to the San Bernardino Valley. In 1924, Kemper Campbell, his wife, and their law partner acquired the Verde Ranch. The ranch had a bunkhouse, a cemetery, and a smokehouse. These structures are still here today, and you can stop by to see them.
So our first destination is Pelican Lake. It is the smaller of the three bodies of water here, but it's kind of out and away. I'm hoping there's less activity. I bet this place was beautiful before the westward expansion and the pushing out of the Serrano people. All this was filled with forests and trees, but now the only trees that really remain are the ones that border the park. So the goal today is to hike to every spot, park in one location, and hit the entire park.
The Campbells operated their portion as a working cattle ranch, and in 1930 began adding attractions for guests, becoming known for years as the North Verde. After their elder son, Kemper Jr., was killed during a non-combat training in World War II, the Campbells renamed their property Kemper Campbell Ranch in his memory. The Campbells later built a lake for water skiing. Today is Horseshoe Lake, which we'll visit later. The land for the Mojave Narrows Regional Park was purchased by the California Department of Fish and Wildlife in 1968, leasing the Narrows to the county, and that's where we stand today. The park officially opened in 1974.
So the waters of the Mojave Park are mainly fed by the Mojave River, and that's partly that's mainly the reason why this area was settled by the Serrano people. So today we're doing a drop shot with a little worm. I came here for bass, but we're going to try to get a trout on the line and or a small bass. So I went smaller on the drop shot. I might go less on the weight because I think it's still pretty shallow over here. So let's see if we can get around this entire park. I decided to drop the fishing pole off and we can fish afterwards. I did a little bit of fishing, but filming, hiking with that big pole was not wise. choice. So this is Horseshoe Lake, named for obvious reasons. It's in the shape of a horseshoe. If you look at it up top, that big giant Canada goose. Just passing through. They also have an RV spot where you can hook up and stay for a couple days in this beautiful area. Let's see what happens when I pass by those birds that are coming up behind. Oh, you know what? There's some big ones right there too. Oh, look at some giant water birds too, man. Those aren't small birds. Those are some big boys. There's 3 up there. Let's check out these guys though. The weather right now feels extremely good. It's like a brisk 65-ish, 60-ish, but perfect for a nice hike with the sun still beating down. There goes those birds. That bird is in that tree. That's so cool. Look at these guys. You ought to be ashamed of yourselves. You ought to be, really? You ought to be ashamed. So now we're on the backside of Horseshoe Lake. So that's where I want to hike. That's the natural looking area. That's how this area is supposed to look. Beautiful, beautiful. Look at those mountains. We have to get there. That's so beautiful. Can you hear all the frogs amongst the train? So the third lake is a bit of a better hike, or a different hike. It's more of a nature area. This area is less crowded. So let's take a look, see if we can get down there. If I had known this part was here, I would have came here first. Oh my gosh. I'm telling you guys, look at these mountains right here. Again, the camera's not gonna do it justice, but that rock formation is amazing. Okay, so there's a marsh. Oh, we can find the beaver here. In the history of the Mojave Narrows, an oasis in the desert for Native Americans, explorers, and missionaries. So I think I might have to pick up the pace. I might like jog a bit. I wasn't planning on doing this. No, I'm sorry. I wasn't planning on going this far. I was just planning on doing some fishing, but you know, why go halfway? So I want to see if I can make it to that rock formation, the Mojave Narrows, the places where the water opens up in the canyon. So I'm gonna try to run there. So right now we're walking into a symphony of frogs. I hope the microphone can really pick up the sounds that I'm hearing, but the chorus is amazing. This is why I come out here. I was feeling so tired today, kind of worn out. But like always, whenever I start hiking, it just picks up my spirit. So I'm about an hour in from when I started my watch. So maybe about a mile and a half, 2 miles total that we've been hiking. We're about half a mile more, maybe a little more than a half a mile, but that's where we're gonna go. Right now I feel like the boys on Stand By Me. I don't know what song they were singing, but that's the song that I'm envisioning in my head. So this is where the park gets its name, the Narrows. So the water cut a path through the rocks, and over time, people expanded it for the train. But this was the route for hundreds of years. So I'm headed back to the car. Right now we're at 4.5 miles. Total trip that's going around all the lakes and walking down to the Narrows, which I think is outside the park. And then headed back. So probably total we're looking at about 5 miles to see everything and experience and enjoy it.